I hope this is recording. I hope it is. I'm gonna have to start over. Turn this off. Let's see. Let's open the chat and make sure that's working and people can hear. Let's see here. I'm gonna go into here and here and here. Chat. Hello. So yeah, I believe. Hello. Get that out of there. Move that to here. That's where I wish I had another monitor. Let's slide it on over. Now this will get hidden from time to time, and I'll forget to look at it. Because I just don't. Now this will get hidden. I have like a ADHD problem, so when I start working on things, all these little things start becoming distractions, and they start taking away from the few megahertz that I have in my brain. My brain didn't come with a math coprocessor like most folks, so it doesn't work well with multiple tasks at one time. But we'll try and see how this goes. So let's get started. So let's go to East Coast. Let's go to the install folder, but let's load not East Coast, Utah. Let's load Utah. Let's load the map, and let's find the thing that's getting moved to find out what the thing is called and where it's at. Any textures that go with it. Alright. Oh yeah. You know, I gotta monetize these things, man. I gotta make some money. I ain't making much money lately. I haven't done much in here. I've been kind of lazy in that sense. I ain't making much money lately. I just have to edit this so it does give me some change, some coins. It's not a lot. I could probably live in a third world country and eat once a month on what I make off this. So it's not much. It's not much. But it's something. It's something. It's a little bit. Every little bit helps, I guess. Yeah, see this one here is one I converted. I don't even know what this started out as. It was something else. Completely something else, and I redid it so that it loads under a new name and all that stuff, but it takes more to do that. It's a little bit more work. See that chat window? Like I said, it doesn't take long and it's off the screen. I can't keep remembering to look at that thing, and I have a tablet that I tried to load it on the tablet, so this is like on a separate screen, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was. I'm a dumbass when it comes to stuff like that. There's just some things that I'm smart at, and some things I'm dumber than 2 sacks of rocks at, and I ain't afraid to say, hey, I don't know. That shit confuses me. Invite. I don't know what you're talking about. Invite. No, you just log into the channel. Just go to YouTube, to my channel, and go to live. It's running now. I'm in Utah. I've got to find that asset. Shop. You said you wanted to move. Is this it? That gas station. That's it, I think. AJ Auto Repairs Tire and Service Center. Is it the AJ Auto Repairs Tire and Service Center? Oh, this is one that actually got an inside to it. Oh yeah, there's a lot more assets in here that got to be moved too. Yep, just looking at them now and seeing. So what do we got in here? Well, most of that's just one thing. That's good. All the miscellaneous stuff is extra stuff, but that's pretty much, that's good. That's good that that's all one big thing. Alright, so let's see, where is it at? It's in Utah Art Shapes Buildings. So let's go to the install folder. Because the levels are mounted, I guess that's what you call it, mounted, when they're all in a zip form. They're loading out of the zip. But changes you're making aren't happening in the zip. You're just going there to get the resources, the assets out of it. Content levels, Utah, art shapes, buildings, and it's in here. Let me look back, see. So it's the U2, the U2 auto repair. U2 auto repair. How big is this folder? It doesn't tell me, because it's still zipped. You know what? I just copied the whole damn thing here. It's less than a gig. That way I get all the stuff out of there. I ain't having to go back and every time go digging for stuff. If all the other stuff's in here, it may be in a different folder. So that's why I said too, it's sometimes easier, you will make your own level, just take the whole damn map, everything, that way it's all together. But this should work too, it shouldn't be an issue. Now let's load the other map, the one you want to put it in. We'll do that in a second. Let me see what the textures are for this thing. Alright, so it's got a few materials, and it's very likely these are not, some of that might not be in the other map already. Some of the stuff they use between different maps, but like you can click on each thing and tell you where the textures are for these things, like this metal. I just wanting to see if they're kind of like all in there together. They're not like going to another place getting it, but they all seem like they're in the buildings folder. That's why I said I'll just copy the whole folder. Everything seems to be in there. The only thing though is there's a main.material that is in there that you'll need to change it so it's not looking for that in there anymore, in the other place. So you could probably get away with it, just moving it, because unless they change anything on their end over there, the developers with the map, well, they did do that once. That's the thing. They did do that once, and it when they got rid of the material CS format, that messed a lot of maps up. Yeah, see, Utah Art Shapes. So we can just, whatever we're going to put it in. If you're going to put it in your own map, your map's just called like your map, for example. And we just You know, you don't even actually have to have this at all where it's located. If the materials, the textures for the materials, the DAE are in the same folder, um, it don't have to know where it's at. It'll know it's in the right place. But let's see, like let's just see. Let's just get the other map. I'm gonna just do it this way. Let's load the other map, so I know where that's at now. If there's more stuff, we come back for it. But for now, let's just get to the other map. Just get that into it. And we'll worry about the name change and all that, if that's what you end up needing to do. Let's go to Johnson Valley. Here's one thing about Johnson Valley that's different than other maps, and that is when you do any changes in the world editor, it's a god-awful long time that you got to wait for some reason. It's like a delay. It's only this map that does it too, that I've seen. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but it is something to remember, that it does take a bit for things to go through when you click on them, like when you do certain things in there. I use a Spieler's map, ain't it? I think it's his name. I got his YouTube channel. Guy makes some really good stuff. Makes some good maps. And most importantly, he finishes his maps. I have a hell of a time getting something done because I'm too indecisive. I never make my mind up. I can never make my mind up. I am always trying to tweak what's already been tweaked. I'll end up spending forever on something. So let's see what we got here. So that's the terrain block. Everything else is a 3D mesh. It's just one big ass DAE. Yep. So what you've probably found, if you found it, it's probably out here on this DAE. You're talking about the salt flat. Let me pull my chat box up. See, I done forgot what the hell. I had that thing running. It's outside the black. Outside the black. Yeah, the black's a terrain block, so if it's outside of this, then it's this, yeah, it's out here somewhere then. I ain't never really looked at this before. It's near the remote pits. Remote pits. That don't tell me much. I don't know much about the game. Is that it? That right there? It looks like it might be some salt there. Down and right, you're on top of it. Okay. Yeah, this is all a 3D mesh. It's all a 3D mesh, and let's see. Now, if you want to put that asset into here, that's fine. It'll still work in here. It should anyway. Like if you wanted to put it here, for example. Oh, it does look pretty good there. Yeah. So if you want to put the shop in here, that's what we'll try to do. And I'll put all this back like it was. Of course, you don't want to see that like that. It looks better with the fog. But yeah, what we're going to do is save level. And what that just did is in the user folder, in levels, it made a augmentation folder. So basically anything you do now in Johnson Valley, it's saving the changes into here. That's why there's not much stuff in here, because you ain't done nothing yet. if you start tinkering around and moving stuff and changing textures, making new texture, all that stuff will be coming into here, which is still going to load Johnson Valley from the install folder, but the things you did to change it will be coming from this folder, of course. So that's why I said you can make a map, you can edit their maps and only have what you change to it, like, you know, adding that new asset, for example, and it'll still work. You'll still be able to share that with other people. I'm pretty sure I've done it before. Is to when you want to rename the map to a different map, that's when you got a lot of shit to do, pretty much. I hope they make that easier for people in the future, like more user friendly and more idiot proof, because it can be quite a bitch. I ain't gonna lie, to do some of this stuff, and it can irritate you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's save it. We got that in there. Let's close the game. Let's move that folder into there and see about getting those into there. Yeah, even closing this thing takes a while for some reason. I don't know. It's just this map has that issue. Still won't close. Damn it. It's like it don't want to say goodbye. I don't know. Manually force that thing to close. Alright, so here's the folder we took out of there, the buildings folder. Since I'm going to put it in there, back black square where you were talking about. Yeah, I'll look. Let me get this thing in here first. Let's edit the main.material so that they're not looking for these things in the other place. So what I'll do is everything that says this, I'll replace with nothing. And Notepad++ works great for this. You can just replace stuff and it does it for you, so you don't have to go through and do it all yourself. Just go through and make sure. See, like this asphalt mesh, this is in a different place here. This is in Art Road folder. I didn't know that. Now I do. So now we need to go get that one. Art Road. Art Road. Is there any others? Maybe. There's a lot of textures in here. Italy. Oh, wait. A lot of their stuff there you got. Let's see, there's another Art Road. Let's just get that real quick. Alright, back to the install folder. Content. Levels. Utah. Levels. Utah. Art. Roads. It could be that this stuff could already be in Johnson Valley. I don't know if it is. If it's not, I just think it'd be easier just to grab it all. But you see, like, yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Let's get this out of here. Maybe I'm doing this the hard way. There may be an easier way for folks to do what I'm doing. See, I'm going to put that in the place where it just made that save. In the art folder here, I'll put buildings and road. Probably, I don't know if Johnson Valley has the same folders in its install folder for road or buildings in the art folder. So let's rename this just to be buildings 2, road 2. That way it's not conflicting or anything. Now put these in here so that they're in their own folder. this stuff. Why did that just do that? Why do they all just turn orange? I don't know. Shouldn't have done that. I might have had a typo. Yeah, I must have had a typo. That's fine now. I probably did. Here's another detailed normals. That's another place that something's coming from. But in the same place, but in another subfolder here. Which, that's fine. That's in there, so it shouldn't have any issue finding it. But I'd still rather just get them out of there, and if I can, move them into the other one. That way, it ain't got to look for it anywhere other place but where it's at. The less work it's got to do, the better, I think. Yeah, that was 11 times it was looking for those in other places. All right, let's load it up and see. Can we import it on in? It may not work right. It may. We'll see. So now when we load Johnson Valley, it's still Johnson Valley, but you can save what you do to it, and it'll save in that user folder. You don't have to have it all there unless. Let's just see what this does real quick. I'm not exactly 100%. Not exactly 100% sure of anything anymore. Maybe about 70% sure. About the best it gets for me. Ah, look, there's a big one there. That's the big old salt flat right there. Then we gonna go to that one there. That's the one we going to. Yeah, someone asked about salt a while back. I made a special particle for that, so it had a different particle when you drove over salt. I uploaded. Actually, that's still on my channel, on my page somewhere. I believe I put it on there. And let's go here. Let's go to assets. I should be able to navigate to that folder. We should see that changed name folder into here, whatever it's called, buildings 2, and it should be able to pull them assets into here without any issue. Without any issue. Should be able to. Utah Wall or something, wasn't it? What was that shop called? That's where my memory's bad. I don't remember the name of it. Somebody probably thinking, well, you wouldn't have that problem if you just copied the one thing that you needed, not the whole damn folder. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Let's just tell it to find DAEs and nothing else. There's so many things in here. Disable all and only enable DAE. So we got a lot less things to sort through. U.S. Auto Repairs. is a big salt flat because that's a little building compared to that. Now, of course, the inside stuff, you know, you got to decorate yourself. So let's see what other stuff we got in here. These all come from the other map, of course. They're all now in this folder, so there shouldn't have any problem getting them into here. You may have one or two that might give you an issue, you know. I don't know exactly without pulling everything in here and make sure everything works. But it seems to be all here. It seems to all load without any issue. Yeah, yep. Now the other thing was what the and see, if you save this now, if you go to back to that user folder for Johnson Valley, you'll see those changes are now in there too. Levels, Johnson Valley. Yeah, see, dealer, airport antenna, all these things are things I just pulled into the map. Just showing you how. I'm not, you don't have to know this, I'm just showing you where, you know, like, yeah, it does make the changes, but they go into this folder. And if you wanted to pack this, so, you know what, let's just try this. Let's try this. Let me take this damn thing and pack it as a regular mod and share it and see if you can just easily download it and pull it up and have that on your system. It'd be the best thing to try, easiest thing to try. So their level, where it saved their level, I'm going to make a new folder. And in that folder, I will put the copy of this into it. This is where it gets a little tricky, packing it. Levels. Then that goes into there, and then that gets zipped. Then you rename the zip file to whatever you want to name it. You can name it whatever, it's still going to look for the Johnson Valley, though. If you want to change the name to something else, that's going to be even more to do. Not too much more, but it can be more. It's been a while since I did a whole conversion of another map. I'd rather just start over personally than have to do all that. But hopefully this will be what you need to get you going here. And the other stuff, well, to get to whatever, I forgot what you said, something about the drag strip or something. I haven't forgot the chat window. See what I mean? I'm not good about keeping up with this stuff, man. I am not good about keeping up with it. How'd they make the backdrop dirt texture? How'd they make the backdrop dirt texture and not asphalt? Well, that DAE, for that piece of land out there, it's got two textures. And each texture, one's dirt, one's asphalt. One of them has a ground model for asphalt, the other has one for dirt. Simple. It's just that simple. Yeah, there's actually two textures to this DAE. If you open up the DAE in Material Editor, um, once you have the thing selected, which I do not have selected, where is that asset? There it is. We go to their asset. We got backdrop. That's the backdrop. That's not the one with the road. The one with the road is not this one. I think there's two different meshes, I believe, what I remember. I gotta look. I don't remember. I thought it was two separate meshes, one with two different textures, but let me, yeah. See, this one would be the asphalt and the dirt combined. There'll be two textures for that. So if you pick this and go to here, you got asphalt, which is the asphalt, and then you got the texture for the background. The background, well, that's ground type asphalt too. One of these is dirt. I know I did it because I've seen it before. Yeah, dirt loose. So yeah, backdrop is actually the dirt. You can think of the dirt as the whatever they use the name backdrop for this particular texture, and it's just a mesh with two things. So like you can easily go into Blender, and I can show you how to do that real quick. You can easily just have something with two different textures, and it worked the same way as that. So say you got this mesh plane here, and this mesh plane is going to have two different textures on it. So we'll subdivide it so it's got different little sections, right? And then we'll pick the sections that say we want to be the road. We'll say, all right, this is going to be the road. We'll go to the material, make a new material for just that called road, or whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't call it road though. There's other things use that name. You make unique names, like road underscore 21 or something. Just something you know the game ain't already using. And you'll assign, and it'll assign that to that. And I can just show you by changing the color. Then the other parts that's not the road, make another texture. Let's call that like dirt. And we'll make it brown. I don't spend a lot of time on these textures, by the way, in here. The only thing you're getting out of here in the beam from here is that base color. All this other stuff, you got to do that in the world editor. It's not getting converted. Just the base color map. And that's if it's not using a procedural texture. It's just using a texture map instead. Alright, so assign. Now we got something with two different textures. Now I should probably rename that. Just show you real quick. Rename this one. That way, I don't know. That way I know they're not taken. Apply all transforms. Export DAE into that levels folder. I'll make a new folder for it. It goes in its new folder. Do this stuff, put it in a new folder. Because it won't add those materials to the old existing materials that are already in there. You have to manually do that if you want them in there like that. Now, this way you got to do it. You put it in its own folder. It'll create the base texture for you. It doesn't matter how many it's got either. It does matter how many objects you send. You'd only want to send one object but it can have multiple textures. And I'll go flip back to the game and I should be able to import these right in. I just have to tell it to refresh directory. Regenerate assets, I forget which one it is. One of those, you have to refresh it. Regenerate asset data, refresh directory. And then in here should be a folder called my folder, or my mesh. And so as you can see, it's got two, just like they're road and dirt. And what you do now is you pull up in the material editor, so you got dirt 21, road 21. Now that'd have been an issue if you just called it road, because I'm pretty sure there's probably another texture already called road. So you go into here, and in the ground type, you tell it what to be, say asphalt prepped, right? You can put a picture on it if you want a material. I just did this for time's sake. I didn't put a picture, I just used colors. And then you go to the other one, the dirt, for example, and change that ground type to whatever you want it to be. Dirt loose, dusty. And you can adjust it here more if you need to. There's all these other things you can do with the lighting, anisotropic filtering. You also got PBR. You can switch to that. But now, basically, you'd have to do this as a visible mesh final for the collision type, since I didn't make a proper collision mesh. And now you should be able to drive on this and get both of those material types working. Should work after you rebuild collisions, of course. And this is the thing I was talking about. It takes a while. This thing's got some kind of crazy delay when you enter and exit the world editor. I don't know, it's crazy like that. It's the only map that does it too. It just takes so damn long for some reason. It's not one I like to tinker with for just that reason, because you have to always wait. Always waiting. Yeah, see, this got dirt and asphalt now. Good idea is to always have a car like the car from the game for reference. I keep one usually that I usually import in so that when I'm making things, I got an idea of the scale. I didn't this time though, and you can see what you can see why I should have. So yeah, that's that. All right, let's get this thing packed. Do I want to save that change? Yeah, you can delete it if you want to. Using it for an example. I don't know how I got damn sidetracked. Oh, I read the comment. Yeah, see, that's how I get sidetracked. Now I end up getting sidetracked all day long if I stay in there reading comments. I'll be looking up one thing and then Dan be looking up something completely different, unrelated. And before I know it, you could delete some of the doors. Yeah, it's a massive strip, miles and miles long. I was in the middle of packing. That's what I was doing. Alright, so yeah, after you zip it, rename it. Now this is not going to have the thing I just put in there because it's already in here. But it's alright. I think this will be fine. Alright, let's test it. So now that it's in the zip form, you can go into the mod folder here. I will need to, just to make sure there's nothing being cached from that level, it doesn't hurt to just delete the entire temp folder. Takes a while for everything to reload. It's in another program. The game's running. This damn map, man. This one irritates me. It locks up, it hangs up. Temp, delete. That way you ain't nothing cached loading from the temp folder. Everything, because the game will make a cached version of all these meshes. Once it loads like that dealership, it's going to make a cached version of it, the CDAE, in the temp folder. You just delete all that stuff. It'll remake them all once it reloads. But I just do it just to make sure, all the dots and Q's are lit and underscored, whatever the saying is. P's and Q's, what is it? Something like that. Now back to where it came from, where we have it in here. You need to take it out of there. Now since we already packed it and zipped it, it don't need to be in here anymore if you're running it as a mod. So basically now we can load the game and load Johnson Valley, and it'll have our changes that we just made. Should have our changes. I ain't gonna say it will. Like I said, I'm about 70% right on stuff like this. Oh, let me grab my coffee. I forgot I was making coffee. Keep crazy hours like me, you'll want coffee too. I think I was up till 4 a.m. Slept till about 12. And it's usually around this time of day I start to wake up a little bit. The doors, to delete the doors off of there, you have to load that into Blender to do that. It shouldn't be difficult to do. It should be something we can do pretty quickly. You'll want to enable that terrain block again though. I have it off. Well, whatever change I do, I'll just put it in the zip file. Then when you download it and you put it in your folder or your mod folder, it should be fine. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put that back. That's distracting. theTerrain. Good practice I would recommend anybody doing map making. Lock your sun sky. Lock your terrain. If you delete the sun sky accidentally, because it's so easy to select it when you're selecting it, picks a bunch of shit sometimes like that. It's like, I didn't want to pick all that, but it does anyway. The sun sky, the ground covers, whatever that is. And it's easy when you think you're trying to just say delete that you accidentally select that and delete that. And if the sun sky goes, you probably ain't going to ever get it back. Even if you make a new one, it just doesn't write correctly. Every time I delete it accidentally, I end up having to redo the level. I mean, it screws it up that much. I don't know if it's a glitch. I don't know what it is, but I just started locking it, and I ain't got to worry about it. And I won't accidentally delete it then. All right. So the doors. All right, to get the doors off, we got to import it into Blender. Just make a new general, don't save. Never import in multiple DAEs into the same. If you're going to import a DAE and then import another DAE, what'll happen is you'll get damn duplicates in here, and it'll rename your textures to like dirt.001 if you already had it in here. And the thing is, you can have it in here and delete it and then import it in again, and it's going to still mess up. I just start a new project each time. That way it doesn't happen. It's just Blender can't have duplicates. It renames them, so it causes issues. So import DAE, go back to... you're not going to see the textures on here, by the way. You're not going to see them. It's going to be a black building, I'm pretty sure. Because of the way they do their textures, they don't like come back to Blender. Maybe they started in Blender, but they don't come back to Blender once they're made in the game. They're like all black. Pretty much everything, most everything I load from the developer maps into here is black. I know the ground, like the foliage, is all black. A lot of the cars are black. I zipped that, didn't I? Yeah. It's in zip form. I gotta remember where I put it. I ain't gonna import it that way. I gotta take it out to the zip file now. I should probably exit the game to make this change instead of trying to do it when the game is running. That's just gonna cause issues. Actually, I need to probably unpack that folder back. I'm doing another change to it. You don't want to work. You don't want to work out of the mod folder, because all that's going to do is create a headache for you. Just say right now we'd make one damn change. We'd say, you know what, this car, we're putting that son of a bitch right there. That's going to cause a problem. When you hit save, what it's going to do, it's going to make a new folder in that user folder of the change you made to this folder, or this one. So you end up with a lot of shit in a lot of places. Then trying to combine it all after the fact, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we go back to the user folder, and you'll see now that there is, in fact, another folder called Johnson Valley, and it's got that little change I made in it. And now you see, if you got changes in both places happening, how the hell you gonna know which one? You know, it's just not gonna work, because you can't take both and combine them. It doesn't work like that. So keep that in mind. So we'll delete that. We definitely don't want to use that one. So we'll take the one we just unzipped. Let's see. Where'd we unzip it to? There it is. That's the one you want. Well, when the one that you open and it's got this in it, you don't want to get. You don't want to get. You don't want to get that folder is what I'm trying to say. You want to get the folder, because when you unzip it, it's going to make that extra folder. You're going to want to get that one. And that one goes to the user folder. The same place it was trying to save the other one. But this is the one that you want. It contains the stuff we already did. So if we import in from here, now that dealership, take a door off, put it back, it'll work. And we repack it as a zip, put it back in the mod folder, it'll load it. Or anyone else that has it should load it. Like, you can share it with other people. If they got this particular version of Johnson Valley and their mod folder is zipped up, then they'll be able to load it too. Shouldn't have any issue. So we'll import that in. Delete that crap there. Import in DAE. Levels Johnson Valley Art Buildings 2. Hey, and some things won't load at all. I already mentioned that. Some things won't load at all. You'll get parsing errors. That's related to their textures. I can fix some of those, but yeah, that's an issue. What's the name of the asset? It is twice now I've had to look up the name of this thing. I don't remember what it is. U.S. No, U2. No, U.T. Auto Repair Walls. DAE. U.T. Auto Repairs. Auto Repairs. Oh, let's see here. Where's it at? Well, it's not black, but it also hasn't got any textures on it. Yeah, so here's the thing. You got different LODs. You got different LODs. The higher number is the one you see when you're up close. The way these change are basically when they are, say, 100 pixels large on the screen, it'll use that LOD, which is a lot less detailed than the others. Once it reaches 400 pixels in size, it'll swap to the other one, which is a little higher quality. And then the same thing with 800 and the same thing with 1200, and it's just LOD management. You got the higher quality one loading only when you're up close to it. So if you want doors to also be far away and also be missing, you'll need to edit them too. If you don't want LOD management at all, you can just delete those. Don't worry about it. But we'll just do the one that's up close. Like I said, you're not going to see textures on it. Maybe some things load with them, but most stuff don't. It's one object. You could select it all and say mesh separate into loose parts, but then you could have a lot of damn parts everywhere. It'd be easier to do this kind of edit would be to just select what it is you don't want, like them doors, for example. Now you see I hid the others because they're all basically on top of one another. That's the collision mesh. Now that matters too, because if you want to drive where the door is at, it needs to be removed in there as well, or you'll be hitting an invisible wall. Delete them faces. And we still got some. We still got a wall there. Let's look at this. Let's look at this mesh here. Alright. The collision mesh is a lot less detailed than, say, that one. So it's got different polys you'll need to get rid of. Why am I having a problem selecting that shit? I don't know. There we go. So we want to delete them. And whatever's on the other side too. And probably those edges. And that edge. And that. Yeah, you wanna be able to go in there, right? You can if there's a wall or a poly there. So that takes care of the collision mesh. And so you want to get a few of these doors out of here. Let's just do some of them. Assuming those are doors, because there's a polygon there, I would turn on the higher quality one and get rid of it in that one. And we shouldn't have anything else to do really as far as that, as far as getting this to work. Delete faces. I'm not sure how many layers this thing. Probably is the front side and the back side. It's probably not just one pixel thin. and this wall. I guess that's part of the door too. What's the collision mesh got on it? Yeah, that's part of the door too, I guess. Yeah, you can't really use a shop like that. It's only got one door open. Yeah. Well, everybody be trying to fight to get in the same door all the time. I might have deleted one back here accidentally. It looks like I did. I think I did, in fact. Alright. So now we'll go to object mode. We'll just basically re-export it. We didn't actually move anything, so we don't have to apply all the transforms. We just re-export it, override it with the new one. Make sure you're in the right place. This would be the auto repair wall. Now it's all going to go. It's not something you're on a selection only. It all needs to go. Now if we go back to the game, it should update this thing almost instantly. Should. This is the old way. This ain't even how they do it anymore. Hold on a minute. This is an old damn naming method scheme. This ain't the new one, the newer one. Yeah, it doesn't. We don't do that like that anymore. We got to move this, put it in the base, rename it to COLMESH-1, and then start 01 has the mesh. Base has the collision mesh. So base 00, start 01. That's in collection, and that's in there. That should be how it works now. You got two empties. It still got the doors on it, doesn't it? What did I do wrong? There ain't no telling. No telling. I think somehow this got all screwed up. There ain't no damn telling. I ain't gonna try to figure it out and just redo it. Alright, so going back to here. Yeah, it did not. I don't know where I saved those changes to, but it wasn't in that folder. 'Cause these damn things still got doors, and you seen I deleted them. I'll just call it something else. If that's the problem, we'll just rename it to something different. And we're not using that LOD management. If this one thing slows down your computer, then I wouldn't even bother playing Beam if this is what makes or breaks your frame rate. But I don't think that's the case. Let's just do one door for now. And with the collision mesh, get rid of it. Now, even though they didn't move, I'm still going to apply all transforms just to make sure. And when we export it now, we will call it something different. Let's see. It's a pretty building, ain't it? I thought so too. Don't see it, do you? I sure as hell don't see it. That old ass naming, it's got to be that old ass naming schematic thingy thing, whatever. Let's do it this way. Ah, damn it. When you start getting issues like this, then it's just best to just start all damn. There's no damn telling. There's no telling. Delete that shit too. Alright, new empty. Here's the way I know to do it. I don't know how the hell they do that old shit, but this is the way I know to do it. And inside of there, you got another empty called start 01. And that's where that goes. Just like that. This damn thing got like scaled up, didn't it? Yeah, because we can't even see the whole damn map now. It's just made the thing like a million times bigger. That's probably what it is. The thing it is in here is just huge. Or maybe not. I don't know. But it's big as hell in Blender, so we gotta scale it back down. Probably like 100%. I do 0.1. And import in our old car. Oh yeah, it's got to be smaller than that. That's 0.01. Damn, it's still too big. That's not going to be the exact same, right, perfect size. I don't know, maybe that's good. Well, that's a door. I think it needs to be smaller. Maybe that. I don't know, we'll try that. Alright, so apply all transforms. And export this into our door is gone, like it should be gone. Unlike the other time, this time it's gone, like it should be. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. It's their asset. So ask them. I don't know. Shouldn't have did that, but now we can just easily just tell this to be the visible mesh final for the collision mesh, and that will work. Rebuild collision, and then run into it and see. Cool. Now I don't know where all that miscellaneous. I don't know where all that miscellaneous stuff's at. I guess it's in the other install folder. It's no problem, man. I love this stuff, man. I love it. It challenges me mentally. That's the polite thing to say. No, it can irritate you. I ain't gonna bullshit you there. It can irritate you, but it's such a rewarding thing. Like mentally, like when things work, it's such a rewarding trial and what do you call it? A reward system. What do you call it? Where you the thing that rewards your brain. When things work out. The that mechanism, whatever. When things work, it's really a good feeling. It's when they don't work that it can really start to annoy you after a while. But just you have to just figure some things you'll never figure out. Uh, yeah, I don't do too well. I don't do too much stuff as far as actual game stuff as far as making things. I mean, I make things, but I tend to make things that are not done. I like making things that haven't been done. New things like different mods that no one else is making, like the lightning and stuff like that. The actual track stuff, I got a track I'm working on, but I am not nowhere near finished with it. I don't. I'm one of them ones that I work on something 2 days, I'm done. I'm tired of working on it. I got to move on to something else. I just get bored really easily. And the mundane, repetitious stuff I get bored with really quick. That's the stuff that, like, well, this kind of stuff is. I don't care to do this kind of stuff at all. It's not. It's not fun. It's not challenging. Really, Yeah, it can be challenging. You can get problems like we did, but it's not that big of a issue. Um, it's just I like to do things that no one's doing, like the rat that runs across the road. What's his name? Chewy. Chewy. Yeah, Chewy. I got another one here that I'm gonna do soon. It's an alligator. I ain't even started on that. I do like making assets though for tracks. I did admit I did make this asset. I'm still working on it. It's gonna be a new hole. It's gonna blend with the other roads, so it's gonna be a mod too. But let me find it. Let me find it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it because I was doing a. Damn, I forgot I was even doing that. You stay up late enough, you forget what you're doing. And then I forgot I was doing this. I was doing a water. I wanted to make water drip into it and make a texture out of that. And I don't know what happened. I must have got sidetracked. So I don't remember what came out of it. What come out of it. But yeah, this is an asset. This is a real place that's near here that the ground swallowed up the ground. It's a big ass hole in the road, is what it is. It's a real place. It's I thought it'd make a great model, so I made a model for it, put it into the beam. I just haven't got it in the beam. I mean, it's in beam. I got it in beam. It's just not game ready. It's too many polys. It's like 2 million polys. So a reduced poly version has to be made, and the high poly texture stuff has to be baked onto it. So it still looks good, but it's not 2 million polygons. But yeah, this is something I want to mesh in with like the game road, so that the game, it's people make those damn potholes that look tacky as hell. The ones that just you take the terrain and you just move it straight down and it makes a big hole and it stretches the decals and just looks tacky. I try to make them look better than that. I want them to look like damn like actually like they look. I don't think I have it in here. Let me see. I have a version of it, I think, in here, but it's a high poly version. It's not the one that I just recently did. So I think it was the first attempt at doing this particular pothole. I said, well, let me get it in the game. If it looks good in the game, then I'll reduce the polys and go from there. But I ended up losing my texture somehow with the original image. Let's see. So I just had to redo it. I just had Mushroom redo it. It is. 2 million polys takes a while to load. Yeah, you definitely don't want to use that as a collision mesh either. You want to do a reduced poly count for that as well. If you try to drive on something with that many faces, it's gonna lock your game up. Come on, man. I just ain't took the time yet to make the reduced poly version. It's kind of like an art, You gotta make it's like an artwork to make something high poly look good as low poly. It takes a bit of art. It takes a bit of creativity. Because anybody can make a high poly model. Anybody can just get damn mesh room and go out and take some pictures and make high poly models. But getting them game ready so that they run good in a game and don't kill your performance, that's a different thing entirely. That, to me, anyway, that's the art. That's the artwork. Because if you can get it to look good and be low poly, and it's more work done than, say, someone who just made a high poly model and stuck it in a game and killed their frame rate. So that's got a decal. So I had to do that. We'd have to. Split the road. I didn't convert this thing either. This is an old damn map. It's before PBR came along. This is the old style non-PBR terrain paints that look like shit compared to PBR ones. I think when I was working on this was like right when PBR was coming out, and it was damn confusing as hell trying to figure that stuff out at first. I finally got it figured out, but it wasn't a damn easy learning curve. I remember being pretty irritated about it. I remember posting in the forums, official forums. I said, worst update ever. That was my 2 cents into that particular update. Well, it was only because I couldn't figure it out. I was irritated. I mean, it's a great update. Don't get me wrong. I just said, man, it's gonna cost so much damn work. I got to figure this shit out now. I was so happy with the non-PBR. Now I got to figure out this stuff. But it's worth it. It does look a lot better once you get them. Just be careful if you do PBR. If you're all your textures, they all got to match whatever the PBR is set to. When you upgrade here, you'll have to set a base macro and detail resolution, and that's what all the materials that make these up need to conform to. If they don't, you'll have to rescale them, or they won't work. They'll be black. If you ever tried to make a PBR level from a non-PBR level and you try to just convert, you probably find that all of them are black. But I may end up making a video on that because I want to make this. I got some higher quality textures that are 4K, and this was old stuff here. This is old. These are like the first generation decals I made. Like, I didn't even know back then how to do like the normals properly. I did know though how to make a decal look like it's got snow in some parts, and then other parts it's got like say ice. And still be under the decal, and it'd be slippery here but not slippery say here. But that was one thing I did kind of get going with this particular map. But all this stuff is old stuff, man. It's old. It needs to be redone. It can be done a lot better now. I did like the collision of these things. These are like soft collision. They don't destroy the car. You'll kind of bounce off of them, but kind of go in them at the same time. So if you smack into one, it's not going to destroy the car. It'll kind of ricochet it off a little. Yeah. That's like, it's got a different ground model than the other normal stuff. All assets use asphalt. But this has it's got depth to it, so depending on how fast you hit it, depends on how far you can go through it. If you just land on the top of it, you won't go as far as if you fell through from a distance. You'll kind of like bounce off the top if you just set your car on the top. Now these look like shit. They look like marshmallows. I need to redo the art for that. I think my thinking back then was we'll make it look like crap just to get it done quicker, and then come back later and make them all high quality assets. Problem is, I never come back. Or when I come back, it's like there's too much stuff to do then. I don't want to do that much work. Yeah, I get bored messing with these things after a while. I got to switch tasks all the time. I'm always doing different. One day I'll work on mods, one day work on track assets, one day work on maps, one day work on just answering questions for folks. I can't do the same thing every single day. And a friend of mine's like, hey man, we should work together and make a mod. I'm like, Yeah. I was like, we're going to be done in a day or two. He said, man, I've been working on this thing for 3 months. I was like, no, man, that's not going to work for me. I can't stay on something too long like that. Yeah. Well, I don't mind helping though. When I can, I help. But I'm not a good, I'm not a reliable person when it comes to working as a team. Not unless I'm being paid, of course, then I'll do whatever I need to do. But just doing stuff for fun, no, I'm not. I'm like half in it, you know. So yeah, this is what this was like. This soft poly collision worked pretty good, I thought. I think that's pretty much it for this. Let me zip that thing up and put it on. I'll put it. Let me zip it and put it on OneDrive. I guess you want the rest of them doors open, so we'll do that. We'll get them doors off, then I'll zip it. Or you could just take them off. I mean, I showed you how to do that one. It would be the same thing to do the others. Let's see. I'm gonna double check that it does work. Let me put that here. All right. I didn't really ever pay attention like out like race salt flat races and stuff. I didn't even know. I don't even know. Do they actually have a particle that come out of the ground in them races, the salt, or is it like shit's like glass, right? It doesn't disturb it at all. I don't know. I thought all those salt flats were. I thought they were made from the nuke explosions where they like melted all the shit into like glass, but maybe confused with something else. I don't know. So we'll put this in the mod folder and load it up like a regular level. See that the changes are there, then they are, then I'll just. Oh, well, that's why. Remember earlier, I was like, why didn't them damn changes, man? Why didn't my damn doors, why are my doors still on here? Why was all. Some dumbass forgot to take the damn zip out of here when they unzipped it. Remember, they unzipped it and they put that, and they moved that. You can't have it in two places at one time. It's going to cause conflict. So that's why I was having a problem. Well, good. Now I know why that happened. Just double checking, make sure it's not in here. Oh, delete temp folder. All right, it should load. If I zip that, or if I pack that, not pack it, if I upload that rather, and give you a link, you should be able to just load it. Uh, and from what I understand, when people augment the developer tracks like this, that it makes it basically makes it a mod um, that you can I haven't shared any with the repo. I don't have much luck with the repo. They keep telling me my stuff is like I do unnatural things with my mods that they don't understand. Now, I've had issues with getting the stuff to pass over there, and it's not so much stuff I'm doing wrong. It's that their game's just not. Uh, it's not set up for certain things to be modded yet, like particles. It'll work, but it just does it in a way that causes issues. It can cause an issue if everyone started doing particles the way I did it until they fix out where it's not working like it is. There's issues with it. And I've had other issues too with like cars. I mod a car and I uploaded it and they kept telling me, well, you're overwriting game files. And I'm like, well, hell, isn't that what a mod is? You know, you're overwriting, you're making new shit from old shit. So it didn't make any sense to me. I think I understand it now, though, that you have to use the additional modification slot in the vehicle if you're going to slot it. But that just seems like a lot of shit to get something uploaded to them. I'd rather just upload it on my channel. If people want it, they can get it. If they don't want it, it's fine. Don't matter to me. When you put stuff in the repo, people get damn asking a bunch of questions like, well, could you do it like this? Could you do it like that? Could you do it like, man, I did it the way I did it, and that's the only way I'm doing it. If you don't like it, don't get it. I ain't got time to keep going back and making shit different every time somebody wants to, they want this over there and that over here. You know, if you want to make it like that, make it yourself. I'll just make it and share it, and folks don't like it, well, they don't gotta get it. Nah, it's just, man, you get people that are real asses too, man. They're like, that's some rude ass people in there, man. I remember the first track I made, I put in the repo. I put it in there early because I thought, man, people be happy to kind of get a work in progress. Then they ain't waiting so long for the track to come out. They can at least play it on something. You know, the first comment, my first track, the comment was, it was, this is poo. So yeah, I had to, you know, yeah, those folks in there, man, they're something else. I think what I did, that's the old one. I renamed it. That's what I did. Auto Place 2. That's the one without the door. So what I'll do is I'll just export this onto the desktop and I'll just overwrite the zip with it. That way I'm not having to re-unpack it again. So levels. Oh, it's in the mod folder now. That's this one. I suspect by the time the game is along the way, maybe a couple of years from now, maybe, I don't know how long it's going to take them to finish it. But I'm sure that as it gets along, as they get along, do more to it, uh, they're going to make it more user friendly, more easier for people to edit things. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Look at other games that people mod. Did they ever really make those easy for people to mod things? Or is it still kind of like a challenge? I don't know. People that mod the new, that can mod The Witcher now, The Witcher 3, they got it where you can mod it now. Is it easy for them, or do they got a lot of shit they got to do to get it to mod? I don't know. I've never. Only other game I ever tried to mod was Duke Nukem. Um, that was a long time ago. That thing that used the old build engine. And I was doing stuff back then that other people. I had to make custom sprites of things that wasn't in the game. I always liked to do shit like that. I had to make stuff that no one else was making. It's challenging to do, and then when it works, it's a good feeling. Say, "Oh man, it worked! It really worked." I haven't even looked at the chat window in like however long it's been, over an hour. I haven't even looked at it. I don't know if anybody's even in here. I'm gonna be talking to myself now. I don't know. I talk to myself all the time in here. It wouldn't be the first time. They probably think I'm crazy. The other folks in this house say, "Man, that son of a bitch talking all kinds of crazy shit. Who's he talking to anyway?" Uh, where's the chat box? It is still streaming. I see that. I might have closed it. Hello, Peter. How are you? Hello, Peter. How are you? Pop out chat. Yeah, I must have closed it. But see, I don't pay attention to this thing, man, because I just, it's just something else to. Wouldn't be so bad if I had another screen to move it to. So it's kind of off to the side, but it can get annoying trying to get it to work with this and that at the same time, because you're flipping between so many apps and programs. It just ends up getting minimized, and I just end up forgetting about it. It doesn't help the analytics though, not being active in the chat. It wants you to be active in the chat when you live stream. That's the way I understand it. Active in the chat when you live stream. That's the way I understand it. Because I guess some people do fake likes live streams where they're not actually doing shit, but playing a video. Some people do fake likes. I guess when you're actively answering questions and communicating with other people in chat, then it shows, oh no, he's really there. That's the only thing I can think why it would matter. That's the only thing. I try to get my wife to answer questions. Like I say, look, I work, you just answer questions. I try to get my wife to as I'm working. That way, she's like the middleman in between. She can help answer some things and then ask me if there's something she didn't understand. But, you know, I thought about it and then I was like, you know, she don't understand nothing about this game. It would be more problems to have her here than it would help. Or she'll get frustrated. She'll get frustrated really easily. Let's see. Looks like I deleted that again. What about these doors? What goes behind them? I don't know. Looks like another room back there. It's hard to see without the texture. It appears to be the paint shop, maybe, where they paint the cars, huh? They put them in there and they bake the hell out of them at some crazy hot temperature. I don't know, maybe you want the door there. Because it won't, you can't paint a car with the door on there, I guess. Assuming that's what it is. You know, it is possible to make stuff like that a second object and that is hidden. When you get up close to it, it hides it. So it's there, but then when you get up close, it'll hide the object. You can do that with like a Lua trigger. You can also have it play certain sounds when you over a certain spot if you want it to trigger that. But that can't be like shared as a. It can be shared. It's just you have to share it like the whole map. You can't just make a car mod. Or I understand the car mods, you can't add custom sounds like whatever they use for the crash sounds, all that stuff. You can't really access it. You can't really put your own stuff. You can do engines or horns, but you can't do some certain sounds. The way I understand, they got that locked away for unknown reasons. I don't know. I think it'd be better to be able to put sounds, but the first mod I made was this ugly head that you could deform. I wanted it to grunt every time you hit it. And a car killer told me way back then, he's like, nah, man, I don't think you can do that yet. You can't add sounds yet. And Agent Y in his Lego car thing, he had a note in there saying about sounds, and he said coming later or some shit. So I'm assuming that you can't do it now. You're limited to what you can do with that. So I'm assuming that you can't do it now. You're limited to what you can do with that. Let's see. So we'll put this on the desktop. 3:30. Put this on the desktop. 3:30. And put it back in the packed. In the zip. And put it back in the packed. In the zip. And mine just went blank. You ever one of them mind farts where you go somewhere to do something and you just stand and forget what the hell you went there for? It happens more when you get older. You walk in a room and forget what the hell you even walked in there for. Well, I'll do that on here. I'll be going somewhere and I'll forget why I clicked on something. It's crazy, man. Losing memory is crazy. People think you're crazy. Yeah, I'll click on shit. It's worse when I live stream because I get distracted easy. But yeah, I'll do that often, man. I'll forget what the hell I was doing. These same videos, some of these go so long that it's easy to get sidetracked and off topic and stuff. But this one went alright, I think. It's too long a video, but that's why I live streamed it. And I sure as hell don't feel like editing it. So, and we need more people making maps. We need more map makers. Enough people make damn cars. Make maps. Make something that we drive the cars on. Everybody and their mama and their mama's brothers, aunt, cousins, neighbors, relatives, best friends, dog, all make damn cars. Make maps. And make maps. Alright. Should be able to just overwrite the one that's here with that one. And it should update in the game. The game's running, it may not. Maybe it will. I don't know. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it can be a hassle adding things to the zip. But yeah, all them doors are gone, man. They're all gone, all of them. And you'd have to rebuild collisions. Set visible mesh final for collision type. Visible mesh final. Rebuild collisions. Collision type. Don't use visible mesh. I tell people all the time, don't use visible mesh. Use visible mesh final. Because if you use visible mesh, it's going to tell you, hey, you're using visible mesh. If this was intentional, please switch to visible mesh final. It's a performance hit, is what it is. If you use regular visible mesh final runs better. And maybe that was something that applied long ago and they've done since resolved it, but I just do what they say. Stick to what they say to do. Works better that way. Let's drive into this thing and we'll be done.
We got other things to do now.
Let's drive into this thing and we'll be done.
Try to finish that other mod I'm working on.
Oh, you can drive in it. Now it's possible to edit this, make this have unique particles. You can make a new ground model for salt. Have a new particle for it. Take a while longer to explain that. I'll maybe do that a different day if somebody's interested in that. But I think for now, what I'm gonna do is just put this on OneDrive and give you the link. Anybody that wants it. And you just don't have to put it in your mod folder. All you should have to do just like it's here, and load Johnson Valley like normal, and it'll have those changes in it. Now, if you wanted to rename the map, the entire map, to a new name map that's like, hey, this is my map, that's a lot more work. That's more work than I feel like doing today. But it can be done. I don't feel like doing it today. Um, this works fine. I mean, in my opinion anyway, it works just fine like this. Not have to do all that extra work for nothing. And you can share this with other people. They can load it just the same as you if they put it in their mod folder. They just load Johnson Valley and it'll have those changes just like you do.
To me, that's the easiest way to do it. To me, that's the easiest way to do it.
I'm gonna have to delete some stuff. I have another account that's got 150 gigs, but I'm not sure what the sign in for that thing is, and every time I do sign into it, it messes up my other stuff where I can't connect. Somehow I made a second account, ended up with two accounts. One I'm paying for, one I'm not. The free one I'm not. This one, the one I'm paying for is the one I don't always have access to without logging back in. So I'll just delete some stuff if I need to. And if people end up trying to download what I deleted, then they'll tell me, I guess. End up trying to download what I deleted, then they'll tell me, I guess. I gotta make some more room. What's this say? I'm at. I gotta make some more room. What's this say? I'm at 4.5. Oh, it'll be close. I think I need to probably clear one more thing out. What's people not ever ask about? I don't even know what that is, but that's going. Like it wasn't too important. MP, some music, probably music. I don't need that either. So we should have the room now. And then this link I'll put in the description of this live stream. And that'll be it, my friend. I'll be off. I'll be off. Yeah, I'll just in the stream. I'll just put the link to this in there in the live stream description. I'll just put the link or in the comments.